Welcome back to live streaming from Cavan Equestrian Centre in association with irishsport.tv and Show Jumping Ireland. I'm now joined by two wonderful owners of Greg Broderick, Lisa and Noel Cawley. Greg has three hands in this class, each of which both of you own. Would you like to tell us about one of the horses?
Well, Golden Exchange is a 6-year-old mare. She's by cruising out of a Clover Hill mare. She won the 6-year-old final in the RDS this year. She also won one of the Irish Horse Sport finals in Cavan here in May of this year, and she represented Ireland in the World Breeding Championship 6-year-old in Lanniken and did very well there. We're very happy with her performance. She's by cruising out of a Clover Hill mare. She has a full brother competing in Switzerland called Cruzon Clover, who's just started to jump 150 classes very successfully. And she also had an older horse called Atomic Mouse who jumped 145, 150 successfully in Switzerland with the same owner. And then we have two 7-year-olds that are owned by Noel Cawley.
Noel, will you give us a word on those two horses Greg has in today's class?
Well, we have two 7-year-olds. One is the stallion Castellar. He won the 5-year-old horse sport class that year. He's a half-brother to Mullicadrin Goldrail, who has won derbies and was on the Nations Cup team in Lisbon and that. And he was second in the league this year and he jumped really well in Lanniken. Nice horse, he's a stallion. He's also half-brother, of course, to Touchable. She still holds the record for a price in Gore's Bridge at an open sale. So I think he jumped reasonably well. This is the last show of the season, of course, so they're probably getting a bit tired. The other animal then is cruising out of a Diamond Lad, Rinkarina. She won the 6-year-old class in the RDS last year, and she won one of the horse sport classes again this year. She was in Lanniken as well. She's the full sister to Solarina, who's won a Grand Prix, and a horse called Carrick Cruising Lad, who's in Switzerland. She's probably the most experienced of the three. So, you know, we've been lucky, I suppose. We bred all three. We still have their mothers. Both of their mothers this year have both foals by Flexible. So they've been pretty good to us. Nice black pedigrees, and they're fairly consistent performers.
Greg is well known for his young horses on the circuit, and this year he was unbelievable in the Irish Horse Sport classes. Both of you are a keen supporter of those, and all of your horses had a win this year in those classes.
Yeah, the three horses that are competing here both won a final, and the 6-year-old Golden Exchange won the 6-year-old league, and the 7-year-old was second. And Greg puts a lot of hard work and effort into schooling them. They're very well, you know, they go extremely well for him, and he's very competitive. He does a fantastic job for us.
I think, to be fair on that, these cruisings are not that simple. They take a while to mature, and he's an exceptionally talented rider, and he's very understanding with them, and they need kind of a careful handling. As you know, he broke his foot in Dublin. In fact, one of them was responsible for that, but he's very careful with them. He takes them along slowly. He's an extremely talented young lad, and he puts an enormous amount of work into it. They're particularly well schooled on the flat, I think, and that's key to it.
I believe your horses made up a large percentage of the team that went to Lanniken. Will you tell me about that experience? 3 of them went. Some of them had been there in the previous years as well. Yeah, that was good. We've been there. I've been in Lanniken a number of times over the years. It's getting more difficult because I think I went there 15 years ago, and the Irish stud book had 5 out of maybe 100. We are now sending 5 based on the size of our stud book relative to others, but there's 250 in every class. So it's becoming more and more difficult to get a placing there. Even to get to the final or get even a clear round is very tricky. And generally speaking, the young horse classes on the continent are jumped at a higher level than ours by the time we get there. So we generally start with some bit of a disadvantage. But the horses that go there do well. As you know, we won a few of the prizes last year and we were well placed this year. But if we want to win there, and I'm not saying we necessarily should, because you have to have a very mature horse to win, we would have to prepare them entirely differently. The 7-year-old class, for example, which 2 of ours jumped in, effectively is a 140 the first day, 145 the second day. And other than maybe one class in the RDS, which is a 7 and 8-year-old class, none of our Irish 7-year-olds would have jumped a 140 class. So there are issues there, but I wouldn't necessarily be in favour of jumping our horses at that level at that age. But that's just the reality of the competition. Lisa, your horse won the class this year at the RDS. You must have been a very proud owner.
Yeah, I was a very proud owner that night. Yeah, it was fantastic. And actually, Greg had broken his foot the day before, so it was quite a surprise performance. He did extremely well. Delighted with her. It was a fairly miserable wet evening, but she performed really, really well. She was the only double clear, so we were absolutely delighted with her. And to win it 2 years in a row with Karina the previous year was really wonderful for any owner, and really, it's just fantastic.